Hey everybody, Andy here again. Right, this is a response to Periurban's latest video called The Future of YouTube, and he was talking about the future of YouTube, live video, all these sort of vlogging, video blogging websites, and where they're going to go, and various different aspects of them, and he wanted responses, so here you go. So one of the things you were talking about was whether we're still at the sort of the frontier, at the cutting edge of technology generally, I suppose, but with YouTube, whether we're still new and refreshing, I suppose, is what you're getting at there. I think we are. I think that video blogging, vlogging as I like to call it, is still on the rise. It's still on the up and up. People are still blogging, text blogs, but I think that they're still very, very popular, and I think they've got their place. A lot of journalists and people like that do blogs. I've seen lots of reporters, political commentators, whatever you want to call them, doing blogs, as you would call them. But I think vlogging is generally for the ordinary person, the more down-to-earth person, I suppose, the ordinary person, the man on the street. I keep going on about this type of thing, and that's what I think so good about it. It's an ordinary person. What you see is what you get. So that's my point on that. I think that's why it's going to keep growing and growing. And the point with that is that a lot of other people are actually catching on. I still think that places like YouTube and live video and that are still fairly well not known. If you look at some of the videos that have come about recently, Renato in his travels in England or in different places that he's been to, there's still a lot of people that don't know about YouTube, especially the older generation, your generation, my generation. A lot of the youngsters are in there, but us older people are now catching up. We're abandoning our TV sets, as someone pointed out, who don't watch the TV so much. We're watching this because there are more interesting people. There's such a wide range of different videos up here, so I still think we are at the cutting edge. I think it's a long way to go yet. The thing with technology is you never know quite how it's going to evolve. You talked earlier in your video about telephones and the way that they were used, and as you say, great analogy there, used very much like this. But things like mobile phones, when mobile phones, cell phones first came out, the texting facility wasn't intended to be used. They were just used to be mobile telephones. The texting facility was only there so that the engineers who worked these the telephones, who installed them, could actually communicate with each other. And then they suddenly realised, well, hang on, maybe we can use this for something else. And lots of these things are found by accident. So with a site like YouTube, the whole Web 2.0 type of thing, it's growing and growing, and different things are going to come out of it as we go along. I don't expect the YouTube guys, Steve Chen and Chad Hurley, really expected this site to evolve in the way that it has done, with the big community aspect which you talked about, which is another point, the community. Where is it going with that? Where do they want it to go? As you pointed out, we are basically the community. They want to push that part of it, I suppose, because it's what binds us all together. It keeps us here, whether it be at this site or any of the other sites. I think that's one of the things that stop people maybe jumping over to live video or sharing their time between the two rather than just focusing on the one, is because they've got their community there. Like yourself, you post videos on both sites, and that's absolutely fine, but you keep coming back to this one probably because there's that big community aspect of it. I'm very, very keen on that, and I've just sort of been involved in sort of promoting the word vloggerhood for all of these people that are here in our vloggerhood, whether they be a personal vloggerhood or the wider vloggerhood, as we say, the community of video bloggers. As we've seen once again very recently, the As One gathering in San Francisco, and Renato's trip over here to the UK as well, very successful. There's lots more of these things coming on. That community is growing and growing in that respect, so we're now actually sort of meeting each other rather than sort of meeting each other by just visual videos, viral videos, whatever you want to call them. Whether that's a good thing, I don't know, but it is good to watch people and to meet them, meet up with them. You met up with Renato, I'm sure that was great. I mean, it is a good thing. I don't know how far it's going to go. I'm sure you can meet some people and you're just going to be standing around looking at each other, filming each other with cameras. But anyway, that's something else. Advertising is another point that you made. Is advertising going to change the sites? Of course it's going to change the sites, but I'm a bit dubious. I think that the advertising coming in, paid adverts, depends on how it's going to be worked, how it's going to be put into place. I have my worries that if they do start paying people, it would just encourage a lot more cheating than we've already got at the moment with people. If you're going to get paid basically for the amount of views that you get, that's only going to encourage people to cheat the system. So I'm a bit worried about that, and I'm also worried about only the elite people, if you want to call it that, the people with the most subscribers, etc., will get the chance to get the advertising. If it's going to be out there, it needs to be for everybody. But I don't expect I should get much money back out of that anyway. That's about it, I suppose, really. Yes, I still think we're at the cutting edge. Yes, I still think there's a long way to go. I'm very interested in the community aspect, which is one reason that I have got an account at Live Video, but I don't really use it, hardly ever look at it. As with lots of people, I don't know where the people find the time to do this sort of thing. I saw a video the other day, I can't remember who it was by actually, talking about being on Live Video, being on YouTube, being on MySpace, being on Stickam and all these other social networking sites. How people find the time to do it, I don't know. And I spend far more time on the computer nowadays than I ever used to. As I said, don't watch very much TV at all, and I think that's the way that things are going. Life is being lived online a lot more than it was before. We do banking online, we do shopping online, all those sort of things are done online now, so we're sort of tied in more and more with this online community. Second Life, look at things like that. Never visited it, but a complete virtual community over there. So we're getting more and more involved with that type of thing. So I think it's got a long way to go. So on the future of YouTube itself, I think it's very bright, but we are the future, as you pointed out. Yes, the people are there to make money, of course they are. Anybody's there to make money, which is why advertising will probably come in. It's coming in now in different ways. Unfortunately, it's a bit of a scourge, but it does pay the bills, whether we like it or not. Even the BBC have been talked about putting adverts on there as well, which I don't like. But anyway, thanks for the video, a good one, and the future of YouTube, as far as I'm concerned, is looking fairly rosy, especially if they get some more of those problems sorted out. At least they're putting up videos and blogs themselves now, actually telling us what's going on and actually listening, so that's something anyway. Thanks for your time, I'll see you again soon. Goodbye.